I challenge you to a duel.
It's the only argument I need. I don't want to talk to you no more, you.
You got a lot of nerve.
Soon you will know what it is like to be defeated.
Stop defending him, Sean!
All right, let's go.
I'm ready for us today. You are the pain. All the way. All the way. The fight for my life, the love, we're taking it all the way.
Welcome into the Sleeper Wire Great Debate Show, everybody, where we do a quick debate-style argument between two players. I am your host, Professor Chris, and with me is special guest Anthony Cervino, host of the FF Face-Off. You can find him on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Anthony, how's it going, man? Welcome to the Great Debate.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. This will be the second time we've had you on the show. We had you on the just the main Sleeper Wire Thursday show, you and Michael, earlier in the offseason. And that was fun. Yeah,
it was. It was. We got to have us both back on again.
Well, if we could do a three-way debate, that'd be great. I got to figure out how that would work. So here's how the show goes, man. We each have a player that we are arguing for. We get 2 minutes to argue for our player. We get 90 seconds for a rebuttal, and then we finish it up with final thoughts on our player. And that's it. That's the show. So this week we are debating running backs. It's been a while since we've really talked about running backs on the Great Debate. We've done, tight ends once. Usually it's wide receivers, but running backs this week. And two guys who you definitely want to consider adding, Wayne Gallman and JD McKissic. I have McKissic and you have Gallman. And Anthony, if that's okay, I will kick us off here.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me pull up my stopwatch here just to make sure that I keep myself on track. And I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. So for JD McKissic, he is definitely more rostered than we usually like to have for these great debates. So we usually try to keep it to guys who are 50% or fewer. Right now, he's rostered in 69% of Yahoo leagues, and that is almost certainly going to go up after this week. Now, McKissic has been pretty good for PPR for most of the season, actually. The last 6 games, 8, 6, 2, 14, and 15 targets. That's right, 29 targets in the last 2 games. That's an insane number for a running back. I honestly believe that the 14 targets in week 9 was a fluke, and it certainly appears that I was wrong. He followed that up with 15 targets this past week in a high-scoring game against the Lions. As a fantasy community, we were all really excited to see what Antonio Gibson was going to do for the Washington football team. He's so versatile, we thought he'd be great in the passing game. Well, he's just not getting the usage there. It is J.D. McKissic, and it's especially J.D. McKissic with Alex Smith. Historically speaking, Alex Smith has always been a check down guy. He looks for his first read, which is usually Terry McLaurin. And if it's not there, he throws it to his running back on passing plays, and really more plays than not, it's been McKissic and not Gibson. McKissic already has a career high in targets, receptions, and receiving yards. In his first 4 seasons, his highest target total was 46, highest receptions was 34, and most yards was 266. He's already beat that. He's on pace to blow that out of the water. Alex Smith is the quarterback of this team, and that is always great for the running backs, especially the receiving backs. Now, I did mention that he had 2 targets in week 7. That was against Dallas, where the Washington football team just destroyed them 25-3. There was no need for them to, check down. And plus it was also not Alex Smith at the time, it was Kyle Allen. No need to check down that often when you're up the entire game against third string quarterbacks. Now, most receiving backs are their team's third down guy. That's my 2 minutes. I'll stop myself right there. Anthony, let's move over to you. You got 90 seconds for a rebuttal. Take it away.
I don't know if I have a ton of bad to say about J.D. McKissic, because I was in on J.D. McKissic this offseason. I always thought he was going to have a role in this offense because Washington did prioritize J.T. McKissic over Peyton Barber in free agency. But, yeah, as you had said, Antonio Gibson was supposed to be the guy, and he is the guy. But in the past few games, J.D. McKissic has been outstanding in PPR. My issue with J.D. McKissic is he doesn't have a very high rushing floor. So if there's going to be a game where he doesn't get significant target share, J.D. McKissic is not going to have a double-digit PPR point outing. And I try to use, like, for low-end guys like J.D. McKissic, I like that 10 points in PPR as my barometer. So if you take away the targets, J.D. McKissic really doesn't have the floor. And that's my biggest issue with J.D. McKissic. He's very game flow dependent.
All right, let's move over to Wayne Gallman. Anthony, 2 minutes on the clock.
Now, Wayne Gallman is a player that I really liked, and really in the past 2 seasons, we've heard mixed reactions from Wayne Gallman, especially this offseason. The Giants actually said, hey, if something happened to Saquon Barkley, we feel confident in Wayne Gallman. Saquon goes down, Wayne Gallman's sitting there, and they go out and sign Devonta Freeman, a regressing running back, 2 years removed from an injury. Wayne Gallman, Devonta Freeman last year in Atlanta was a shell of himself, and it carried over to New York. An interesting tidbit on Wayne Gallman. In the past 2 years, he's had 5 games with double-digit touches, including yesterday. Wayne Gallman has scored in every one of those games. Currently, Wayne Gallman is on a 4-game scoring streak that began back in week 6 or 7 against Philadelphia, which was also the game that Devonta Freeman went down. Since Freeman has been gone, Wayne Gallman has scored a touchdown in every game. He's getting okay yardage. He's involved in the passing game, but most importantly, he's had 13-plus PPR points in all 4 of those games since week 7. And now that Devonta Freeman's on IR, his season is likely done. I believe Wayne Gallman, if you look at the Giants' schedule for the rest of the way, he could be a potential league winner, and he's available. I think I saw in over 50% of leagues at Yahoo and over 30% of leagues only roster him at ESPN.
Is that all you had for him?
Yeah.
Still got about 20 seconds.
No, that's all I got on Wayne Gallman.
So with Wayne Gallman, you're just crossing your fingers for a touchdown with this guy. That is it. His last 4 games, 10 carries for 34 yards, 12 for 44, 14 for 68, 18 for 53, only 10 total targets in the last 4 games as well. I mean, that's not really getting targeted in the passing game, 10 targets in 4 games. If he doesn't get into the end zone, he's killing your roster. He's also on a bye this week, so you're not going to be able to play him this week. Then the following week, week 12, that's Thanksgiving week, which is the 1 week in the middle of the season where there are no teams on bye. So you're not going to be missing anyone due to bye weeks. There's a very good chance that you've got better starting options on your team than Wayne Gallman. And then after that, it's week 13, and only the Panthers and the Bucks are on bye. That's Christian McCaffrey / Mike Davis, and then Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette, whichever guy it's going to be. Let's face it. I mean, you're going to have a hard time getting Wayne Gallman into your lineup at all the next 3 weeks, unless you've been absolutely crushed by injury, which, it's 2020. Maybe you have, but it's, with the bye week and then, with the bye week and then every team playing, and then only Christian McCaffrey and Ronald Jones out, I feel like you're not really going to have a chance to get Wayne Gallman into your lineup. So it might just be a waste of that waiver wire pick. All right, let's move into final thoughts here. So I'm going to take it back to J.D. McKissic. So as I was saying, most receiving backs are their team's 3rd down guy. But that has actually not been the case with J.D. McKissic. On his 62 targets this season, 66% of them, 2/3 of them, have come on 1st, 2nd down. They use him no matter where they are on the field. He's not a red zone guy or a between the 20s guy. Alex Smith seems to target McKissic every chance he gets when Terry McLaurin is covered. In the upcoming games, Washington is at home against Cincinnati, then at Dallas, and then at Pittsburgh. The game against the Bengals has the potential to be a high-scoring game, and then in 3 weeks, they're most likely going to be down quickly against Pittsburgh and need to throw the ball. The Steelers have a great run defense, so it's going to be hard to play Antonio Gibson, but there's a really good chance you'll want to play McKissic in that matchup.
Contrary to you, I think there are a lot of teams out there that have injury-plagued rosters. I know I'm starting guys like Gallman and McKissic in the same roster in some of my leagues, so I really need a Wayne Gallman on my team.
Is that due to bye weeks or injury?
Injury, man.
Okay.
I mean, when I say I have 3 or 4 49ers players, 3 of them are running backs on the same injured reserve. Plus, they have like I literally rostered their whole backfield in some leagues.
That takes up an entire bench.
It's 2020.
I know, man.
You know, a guy like Wayne Gallman can potentially win you a season. He's been more productive than Jonathan Taylor over the course of this month. I saw a tweet from Ryan McDowell from yesterday saying that over the past month, Wayne Gallman is the RB3 behind Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook. That's how productive he is, and really there's nobody else there. McKissic is sharing passing down work, and really he's the primary guy in Washington, but he's still sharing workload with Antonio Gibson, where it's Wayne Gallman, Dion Lewis, Alfred Morris. Come on. Wayne Gallman has separated himself in this backfield to where he should see the lion's share of the touches every single game. And again, upcoming schedule. At Cincinnati, at Seattle, Arizona, Cleveland. Now where it gets tough is at Baltimore in the fantasy championship week 16. I'm not going to use Gallman in that spot. But leading up to it, I think there's plenty of opportunity for Wayne Gallman to cash in.
All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this week's great debate. Anthony, thanks for joining me, man. This was a fun, quick show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun. I think we can get Mike Hoff on here, my partner over at the FF Face-Off. We could do a little 3-way debate on 3 different players.
Maybe we'll see if we can't do that closer to the end of the season. Why don't you remind everybody where they can follow you and support you?
You can follow me on Twitter and at all the top social media and podcast platforms at The Real NFL Guru, and also my show at the FF Face-Off. We do mostly, a lot of live streams, a lot of live Q&A on YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. So check us out and give us a follow. And if you have any fantasy questions, especially, make sure you ask them live on the show. We literally will stay around till every single one is answered.
And you can follow us on Twitter at Sleepwire Show, and I'm on there at Prof_Chris SW. And you can hit me up on the Sleeper app at Professor Chris as well. Anthony, thanks again, man. This was a good one. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.